and broadcasting stations. It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here's your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Nice to have you on a soggy Friday morning. Lots of football on the way. We got games all over the place, starting with Ole Miss at Auburn tomorrow at 4 o'clock right here on Sports 56 98.5, and it'll really have a Sports 56 flavor. There'll be stats in the pregame show, and Eli Savoy will be joining him. And then we got all kinds of games on Sunday. We got the Monday night football game. You just keep it right here. It is nasty outside, so why would you want to be? You can't play golf. You're not going to Miramichi or to Galloway or any place right now. I can promise you that. So just sit back, take it easy. We got a busy show. We've got locks we're going to give you here in a few minutes. We got Glenn Rogers Jr. on the high school football. We'll see how the weather affects that. Andy Schiffman will talk basketball, NBA style. That'll be at about 10:42. Looking forward to that. Grizz in overtime. Sort of shades of last year in the play-in game. They go to San Francisco, new Chase Center, and they chase the Warriors off the court. They get it in overtime. Ja Morant provided magic. He really did. He needed to after the lackluster performance in Los Angeles, or I'm sorry, in Portland. That was not pretty at all. The whole team was terrible. Triple J hit a big shot in the fourth quarter to get him going, and even the hated Andre Iguodala. He contributed to the Grizzlies' win with a bad turnover for the Warriors. That helped. And here they are, splitting this opening road trip where a lot of people thought if you would win one, it would be good. They win two. They hand the Warriors their first loss of the year. It's really interesting because I want to ask Andy Schiffman when we talk with him later. I'm not sure through 5 games that the league has ever seen where there's only one undefeated team after only 5 games. Utah is the only team. I think they're 4-0. I don't even think they've played 5. Jay Morgan, you love NBA basketball. You're an ex-coach. Do you remember that? I can't recall this early in the season where there's like 4 or 5 easy, only one undefeated team.
It usually takes about like 8 or 9 games to get to the one team left that's undefeated. You're right. It's very early to have that happen. But you know what they say? There's no easy games at the beginning of the NBA. The bad teams don't know they're bad yet. So every game is tough night in and night out.
Yeah, I mean, crazy. Where we have this kind of parity. This is going to be a fun year. I don't think there's any question about that. We don't have any undefeated teams now in the National Football League because those dreaded Packers and that doggone Aaron Rodgers, they win 24-21, but really the story is somehow this malady, like it's incredible. I guess it's contagious or something. This malady that the Memphis Tigers have, I don't know how it happened, but they Arizona Cardinals must have caught it because it was really turnovers that did in the Arizona Cardinals. They were on their way to winning that game. They got the ball, they make a goal line stand, they drive down, they're going to win the game, and Kyler Murray throws a pick at the end zone. And the game is over, and the Packers hold on. So there's no undefeated teams. So who is ever left from the 1972 Miami Dolphins, we know Don Shula passed away last year. But whoever is left from that 72 team, they popped the corks because they do every year. They're the last undefeated team in the National Football League. So think about that. You're talking 28, 29, 49 years since anybody went undefeated. The Patriots were the closest. They lost in the Super Bowl. They had their chance, but nobody's done it since that 72 Miami team. Yesterday, was really a moving day. I don't know how else I can describe it. So I ran from here to the Lori Walton Practice Center and listened to really beautiful speeches. Was first off, much like Penny Hardaway, blown away by the size of the crowd. Like, I could not get in the door when I first got there. Being, a little smaller, I could kind of dodge people and move in little seams that I found. This was, like I had a blocking back in front of me. Was able to get in there finally. Stood really right next to Greg Gaston. He was on the seam. And so the first person other than Otis Sanford, who was on the show talking about it, Otis Sanford did just a marvelous job of emceeing this thing. And, knew Larry Finch quite well. And he then sort of goes over the program and tells who's coming up and so on. And Penny Hardaway walks up. And I will tell you that Penny got about 2 words out of his mouth and then couldn't speak. And he tried, and Penny couldn't speak. And then Elliot Perry got up to sort of put a hand on his shoulder. And Penny couldn't speak. Finally, after a full minute of gaining composure, he was able to get through his speech. And he talked about how blown away he was by the crowd. He was right on. But we should have known how many people Larry touched because, as we said on this show yesterday, Larry not only was maybe the most clutch player in the history of the school, would be the number 1 scorer in history still, and he's number 2 if they had a 3-point line. He scored all those points from long shots that only counted for 2. Give him almost another third of those points if he had a line at 19-9 for a while and then 20, whatever it is now. And he is the winningest coach in all time. He's second if you are not one of those that will count the 2008 season as vacated. And he's the guy that got the city back together singularly. He decided to stay, and that gave a common goal, basketball, cheering for whether you were white or black for this team. And it really brought people together. He is, as Mayor Strickland said yesterday, and he is a historian of this school. He said, we've just celebrated 200 years of being a city. He thinks Larry Finch is amongst the top 10 most important people in the history of the city of Memphis over 200 years. That is the kind of galvanizing guy he was. And Penny talked about being a father role for him. He said when he first came, his way of recruiting was to say, by the way, you're coming here. And then he proceeded to tell how Larry always lived up to the things that he said he would do. And Elliot Perry then reinforced that. Elliot Perry made the point of Larry saying pretty much the same, you're coming here, you're a Memphis guy, and then he ended by saying, I need you. But Elliot Perry, in his wisdom, Elliot went on to say that, and again, used the word father figure. And Elliot went on to say many interesting things, but he said, because there were several who made the point, and I agree with this point, to be honest, is that this should have happened a long time ago. But Elliot said, things tend to happen for a reason, and now is the perfect time. And a part of that being the reason for it being the perfect time is who the coach is now. And that Penny, in his own way, is a bit like Larry. Came from a very proud neighborhood. He came from Binghamton. Of course, Larry came from Orange Mound and Melrose High School. They both really connected with the community. They both became stars, for sure. They both ended up becoming coaches. The other point that was made that was really a strong point in my mind was the leadership abilities of both. It is always amazing to me how Larry was definitely a leader and people were drawn to him. I've never seen, and I think Penny has taken the being drawn to even a step further than Larry, which is a hard thing to do. But, when Penny enters a building, there's going to be 7 or 8 people, every place, that come up to him that want a selfie. And then, and it doesn't stop. He just keeps going on and on and on. The people are naturally drawn to him. And they were with Larry. And we'll see if Penny can move them into Elite Eights. And Larry never got that Final Four. He did as a player. And that point was made by Penny, was that he wants to pick up that mantle and to go on. So that it really was a beautiful day. And Elliot really, I thought, was interesting when he said the time was right now for this statue. And the statue is really a cool thing. And there's 4 panels. And I think that they may have been talked about a little bit by Otis Sanford yesterday, but one as him growing up as a high school star and proud member of Orange Mound and Melrose. Then there was a second panel about his playing days here, his third panel as a coach. Fourth panel is him as a leader. And there is no question he was a galvanizing leader of this community. It's great to see all the older players that came by that wanted to be a part of it. David Vaughn was there. Hank McDowell was there. Bubba Luckett, who's 30, did he tell me it was 39 years that he has been the coach of Christian Brothers High School. Is that not incredible? 39 years. I said, you're going to make it to 50? Thinking, he's going to say, well, 40. I don't know about 50. He goes, if they let me. So, all power to Bubba. I hope he does make it. Bill Cook was there. Hilliard was there. Deadeye Dexter Reed was there. The coaches for the current team, Larry Brown, no players, and I don't know why they didn't have them come. I wish they had, but Larry Brown was there. Cody Toppert was there. It was just so moving, and you really felt family because there were so many different generations of fans. There's the new, young guys who are going to be cheering like crazy for Amana Bates fans there. There were Dana Kirk people that were there because, let's face it, Larry was brought back from Gene Bartow's UAB team to be Kirk's assistant for a couple of years until Kirk got in trouble, Larry got the job, and the rest is history. So you had all the different generations that were there, and it was beautiful to see. You had a bunch of folks that actually were wearing the Orange Mound Melrose colors. That was beautiful. So you had the blue, you had the, I guess that's some sort of scarlet or maroon or whatever it is. Beautiful. I mean, it was just a beautiful, beautiful day, and I don't think you can sum it up any better than the way that Jim Strickland put it when he said one of the 10 most important people in the history of the city of Memphis over 200 years. That says it all, and we'll pass by that statue every time we go to the South Campus. All right. You know that on Fridays we do a thing called the Locks. We each pick 3. Jay Morgan keeps up with all of this. Tell me, Jay Morgan, what is our record? I'm one behind you. I know that.
Yeah, you're one behind me. I got to pull up the page. I wasn't prepared for whatever reason. Okay, you're 3-6. I am 4-5. We both have one perfect.
No.
Oh no. I'm sorry. You're 3-5-1.
Correct.
That's my apologies. And I'm 4-5. We both have one perfect week. Perfect being 0-3.
3-5-1, 4-5. Okay. Are you ready? We're gonna vary. I start first one. You do your first. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. And folks, I would say to you, take these picks to the bank.
Oh yeah.
But you just heard our record, so don't take these picks to the bank. But think about them. I know in the end we're going to be really good.
We're going to get hot
because
this week.
it's just an accumulation of knowledge is the way this comes out. All right. So, Penn State, I've got a theme this week, which I hope is good because it's a dangerous theme. I am taking the dogs that are on the road. This is always a dangerous perch to be on, but I feel very confident about this perch this week. My first one, Penn State in Columbus at the Horseshoe against Ohio State. I'm not sold on the Big Ten, period. I know they got all these teams that are up in the top 15 or so. I'm not sure there's a really great team. Is it Michigan? Michigan State? That's a good game this week. I'm not going near that one. I think Penn State's a good team. I think Ohio State's a good team. I don't think either team is great. Certainly not great enough for 18.5 points. That's what I'm getting. 18.5 points. Give me the Nittany Lions because I don't think Ohio State can beat them by almost 3 touchdowns. I just don't believe
that's
that.
a great pick. I missed that one. That's in my opinion, that's way too many points. Far too many points. I need to clean up my NFL record, so I'm going to go 3 NFL games this week.
Okay.
So my first one, I take these guys every week. It always makes me nervous. But
don't tell me it's the Dolphins.
The Dolphins are going to Buffalo.
Hold it. Stop. I may, just for your own sake, to help you out, young Jay Morgan, I may have to. I'm going to let you do it this week. I am going to ban your ability to pick Miami because it's just like taking candy from a baby. You're talking about Buffalo, one of the best teams in the NFL. Miami stinks.
Yeah, they do.
It's like you ever see me take my Bears? No.
I took them last week.
Because of experience and wisdom. I cannot believe you're going to continue to go with your heart and take this team that is awful.
Well, it's a tough divisional game. Buffalo may be the best team in the AFC, but
this is it. This is your last ability to do this.
That's fair. I accept those terms. But 14 points on the road. I got to take Buffalo. I got to take the Dolphins plus 14 going into Buffalo.
So you're taking Miami. You get 2 touchdowns in Buffalo. So you're doing the same thing I'm doing. You're going with the road dog.
I am.
All right. My second game. Kentucky, I believe, is a really good team. You realize they've only lost 1 game this year. The Wildcats are good. Mark Stoops is a really, really good coach. Now he's going to the Bulldogs. And Mike Leach's team seems to be getting better than they were when they took on the Tigers in the Liberty Bowl. How much better are they really? Who have they really beaten that convinces you that they have turned the corner? This is a good team they're playing. I know they're at home, but they got to give the Wildcats a point. I think Kentucky's going to win straight up, and I'm getting a point. So, another road dog, not quite as many points. I just think Kentucky's better than Mississippi State. I think their defense will figure out that little dink and dunk game that Will Rogers and Mike Leach have put together. Nah. Give me Kentucky. I love them straight up to win the game.
Those are 2 great picks so far. I like both of those a lot. I'm going to go back to the NFL. The Bengals are going – I'm terrible. The Bengals are going to the Jets. Jets at home are getting 10.5 points. I know the Bengals are good, but the Jets are not 10.5 points that worse than the Bengals at home. In the NFL on a –
Is Joe Flacco going to play for the
Jets? He's on the roster this week. It looks like Joe Flacco might start. I'm going to take the Jets plus 10.5.
Oh, you're going the other way.
Yeah.
You're going with a home favorite.
No,
home dog.
Yeah,
home
but
dog.
10.5,
wow.
2 scores at home in the NFL. I'm going to take that almost every time. I'm going to take Jets plus 10.5.
Wow.
I'm a lunatic, I'm afraid.
So you're taking the Jets plus 10.5 versus Cincinnati.
Who day?
Yeah. You know what? I'm not totally convinced on Cincinnati yet. I should be probably, but I'm not. This could do it. If they cover 10.5 in New York City, the thing that worries you about Flacco, frankly, is his first game. How well does he know this personnel? How well does he know the system? That's a little bit tricky there. My third game, I am going in the NFL, but the same theme, because I think the Titans are really good. They've played so darn good the last 2 weeks. I mean, they've beaten Buffalo, right? They killed Kansas City, right? Is Indy that good? Indy's under 500. And I'm getting 2.5? You're telling me I'm getting 2.5? The Titans? You know, it worries me because it's almost like too obvious. It's like a sucker bet, but I'm going for it. I'll be the sucker. Give me the Titans.
You know, the Titans opened at they opened at 1 point favorites on the road, and that line has moved 3.5 points since it opened. That's unbelievable.
What do we not know? Who's not playing?
I don't know.
Is Henry hurt?
You know, he's playing.
I know. I don't understand that. I don't understand that line. That's what worries me. It does appear to be a sucker bet, but I'm going to go with it.
Yeah, no, tough divisional game, but I like it too. I do like that. I'm going to take the Panthers +3 at the Falcons. I think the Falcons hype is a little too much. They beat the Dolphins last week. I know I bet on the Dolphins, but they beat the Dolphins on a last-second field goal. They've won, and they beat the Jets in London or so. So they've won a few games in a row over bad teams, and they've 3 in a row. People think they're hot. The Panthers, I think, have been a little on a skid, but I think they're a good football team. 3 points on the road going to a not very good Atlanta team. I'm going to take that every time.
You know what? I looked at that, and I almost made that same bet. I'm with you on that one. I would have gone that way if I were going to bet that game. So I got Penn State, Kentucky, and the Tennessee Titans. You got Miami, the Jets, and Carolina. We will see how all of that works out. I'm sitting here in the Family Leisure Studios, and I'm reminding you they got a sale again. It's called Relax at Home. How do you relax at home? You play pool, or you go and take up shuffleboard like they do in the bars. You can have that in your home. Same thing with air hockey, that kind of stuff. It's really cool. And they got a good price. How about a body massage chair? Those things work. How about watching the big game or maybe a movie on some new theater seating? They've got it all on sale along with spas and saunas and the end of the patio furniture for this year. So you're getting great closeout prices. All you got to do is get to the Relax at Home sale at Family Leisure. We pause for just a second. When we come back, our Coach Glenn Rogers Jr. on high school football. It'll be nasty tonight, I think. Wet, cool, rainy. Ooh. How will all these kids survive? Glenn Rogers has all the answers in a minute.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Louie's Deli and Meat Market in Arlington, you'll not only see the quality, you'll taste the quality in every bite. Got a tailgate party or a backyard get-together? Ask Louie's to make a deli meat and cheese tray. Score big with Louie's sausages and bratwurst. Handmade fresh in the store. No time to cook? Louie's now carries Oh Great, locally owned and made. Oh Great's take and bake foods include their famous chicken spaghetti, shepherd's pie, quiche, soups, desserts, breakfast foods, and more. Louie's Deli and Meat Market in Arlington, 11695 Highway 70, just a quarter mile east of Highway 385. Veteran owned. Louie's Deli and Meat Market. Quality you can see and taste.
Hey everybody, I'm here at the All-Star Chevy showroom in the beautiful Olive Branch, Mississippi, and you know what? If you want a new Tahoe or Silverado, All-Star Chevrolet has them. All the best are right here in Olive Branch. That's where all the Chevys are. They got a boatload of new Tahoes, and all the new Chevys are in transit. So claim yours today or order what you want. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Collierville, not Mount Moriah, or the Pike. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. And if you want a certified pre-owned Chevy, or you're looking for a specific pre-owned car or truck, ask my man Kevin or Jeff. They'll find it and get it here for you and get it fast. And if you want to sell any car, truck, or SUV, All-Star will buy it even if you owe money on it. And even if you don't buy one of theirs. They told me to tell you to bring your title and get your check today. And they mean it. So come on, find new roads to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch or see them online all the time at allstarautogroup.com.
Hi, I'm Troy Fivesh, owner of Fivesh Roofing. Sunday, today and today only. And for the first 50 callers. These are things you will never hear me say in my ads. Because if you're honest, sincere, and knowledgeable, you don't need fast-talking, high-energy, gimmick-promising advertising to get someone's attention. Speaking of that, how do you think companies can offer huge rebates and giveaways when you use their services or products? by overcharging you in the first place. That's how. 5S Roofing doesn't operate that way. It's misleading and dishonest. When I provide a customer with the best products and the best service, and I do it for a fair price, why would I need gimmicks? Best products, best warranties, and the best service possible. That's all we offer. Well, that and financing. 5S Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5S Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5S Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
I don't know about you, but as soon as I feel a hint of crisp, cool fall weather, I think of Sunrise on Jefferson. There's simply nothing other than the comfort food of Sunrise that makes you feel like autumn is really here. The signature square biscuits, the house-made gravy, the made-to-order fresh eggs and breakfast meats, or a lunchtime burger. They're all things to say relax, take it easy, you're in good hands. Swing by Sunrise for breakfast or lunch, and the rest of your day you'll feel warm, full, and happy. All because of fast, fresh food made with care.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
I almost forgot Eli Savoy playing Santa Claus today, early Santa Claus. Gave me 4 tickets. Jay Morgan, where are they? Are they 108 or 104?
108.
Okay, 108 is really good. That's lower bowl, sort of in the corner. Really good. I love those seats because you see the plays really unfold, and you don't have to turn your head. So you get old like me, you got a creaky neck. That's, it's like tennis. You want to be on the baseline. You don't want to be at midcourt. So we have 4 tickets for a family in Section 108 for the Lane game on Sunday. Remember, that's a 1 o'clock game. So right after church, grab the kids. You can eat down to FedEx Forum or downtown somewhere. They've got all kinds of restaurants. And then go to the game. So here's the deal. The third caller on the AutoZone phone line, 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255, the AutoZone phone line, AutoZone Get in Zone. Third caller at that number will get 4 tickets to take their family. So there's 1, there's 2, and the third one. You're the lucky one. We'll let everybody know who was the lucky one. Those of you still calling, please stop. We have now given the tickets away. Glenn Rogers Jr. will join us in a minute. I'll let you know if you've ever played like Miramichi or Galloway, Timber Trust, those kinds of golf courses, and you hear somebody yelling 4, just know. Duck and then say hello to my friend Sheldon Rosengarten, the worst golfer in town. He'll tell you. Now, he's the best real estate agent in town, but that's because he's the worst golfer because he has never got any time to practice. He's always working. When you want the job done, you call Sheldon. Instead of practicing that golf game, he is working it. He's got the Shell Bucks. He's constantly monitoring everybody to see what is going on. So while he's often known as 3-putter triple bogey, he's also the guy that you want to have as your broker because he's going to make sure with his strategy that you get the most for your home. If you're selling, he says talk to 2 or 3 real estate brokers. Make sure he is one of them. So remember or write it down. To find out why his clients love what he does for them, just call him. That's Sheldon at 483-0546, Sheldon Rosengarten, 483-0546, or you can go to memphisrelocate.com. I think it's really not going to be very nice at all this evening for all these high school football games. This is the time of year where that kind of stuff happens, that is for sure. So Glenn Rogers Jr., tell me, although I'm seeing now it is actually supposed to stop raining, and it looks like at 7 o'clock tonight in the mid-50s. How does that bode for high school football this evening? Good morning, Glenn Rogers.
Good morning, Dave, and all the listeners. And you're right, Dave. This is football weather, and it's supposed to clear up. But I'll tell you one thing, Dave. You really make me want to do golfing, man, when you talk about Miramichi and Sheldon. You make me want to go get that golf club and start swinging.
Well,
so I just want to compliment you on that, man.
Thank you. In a few weeks, you can play, but you've got stuff to take care of here.
I know. I still got business to take care of, man. And I tell you, it's been a fun week. We're getting ready to play Brentwood Academy tonight, and Dave, a lot of people I don't think realize how tough our league is. We got one of the toughest leagues in the country.
No
and,
doubt.
You look at last week, Christian Brothers, going there at 4-4, and way they did 8-0 Central team, put a thumping on them, and it just goes to show you our league it's a tough league. It's a tough outing. We got a lot of games tonight, Dave, that's going to determine seeding, and so almost all of these league games in our league tonight are very, very important for seeding purposes. Besides McCallie, they're a bona fide number one seed on these, but the rest of these games, it's going to be a dogfight tonight across our league.
Across your league, they matter?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
I want to ask you this question before we get into some specific games or the ones that you really want to talk about. And that is, I was talking with a referee the other day, actually at Miramichi, since you brought it up. I was playing, and a guy who's a football official came up, and he was basically saying how this year the quality of play is clearly down from what it was before COVID. And that last year, so many schools missing games has really hurt continuity and also the quality of play. Do you buy that?
Absolutely, Dave. I think anytime, take your job, for example. If you got to be off a whole year and you can't have contact with the coworkers, with the engineers, you just basically sit in front of the computer trying to figure things out, you would be a little rusty coming back.
Yeah.
And think about with the players and coaches being separated. You can't do workouts. You can't build team chemistry in a locker room. You can't build team chemistry with the coaches and the staff. You can't build a staff chemistry because you're not around the staff every day. And so absolutely there's a drop in play. There's a drop in coaching. Some coaches have left. Some coaches have got out of the game. Some coaches stepped away because, they almost took 2 years off. And some guys that were volunteers couldn't afford to do that, because they were getting some type of stipend. And so you had guys moving other fields. But it's definitely a drop in play in the you can see it across the board. I mean, it's just not just the public schools. You can see some from the private schools, even though we played. But, we still had to shake off the rust. We just started back going to our locker room, Dave, this past October. So we went in the locker room for almost a year and a half.
All right, so let's talk about the games that have meaning tonight. Your game with Brentwood, if you win, what does that mean? If you lose, what does it mean?
So we win and Briarcrest wins, then we're in second place. We're in second place. If we win and Briarcrest loses, then we're in third place. Of course, if we lose, we're in fourth place regardless.
And if you're in fourth, you got to play the best team, right?
If we're in fourth, we got to travel to Chattanooga. Yeah, we'll eventually have to travel to Chattanooga and play McCallie. And
they're the best team in the league?
They're the best team in our league. I've seen them on film. They're defending two-time defending state champs, and they're clicking on all cylinders right now. They're hitting on all cylinders. But, Dave, you know what? It's so much parity in our league. Anybody, because McCallie, they got beat earlier this year by Knoxville Catholic, and so anybody at any given time can beat you during this time of the year. Anybody can if you're not on your A game.
The game of the week by the commercial appeal is Whitehaven at Bartlett. I went to see Ryan Silverfield at the Touchdown Club last night. And Tim Jones, remember Tim Jones, starting quarterback against Alabama?
That's right.
That's right. Tim
That's
Jones,
right.
Unbelievable guy. He's the principal at Bartlett. He talked about how much he likes his coach. They were good last year, not quite as good this year. They take on Whitehaven. Both teams are 3-3. Actually, Whitehaven's 4-2 in the league. Bartlett's 3-3. I think Bartlett needs this win.
Yeah, and this is a down year for Whitehaven. You ask Rodney Salisbury, any Whitehaven alum, they can tell you this is a down year. When's the last time Whitehaven have 4 losses, Dave?
Never.
Not since I've been around. Exactly. So I think Whitehaven will go in this game serious to try to keep the momentum going. They won last week. They'll go in this game to try to keep some momentum going toward the state march, the state championship march, state playoff march. So I'm giving a nod to Coach Salisbury and his staff. I think they're trying to send a joke to their kids and the program. Like, look, we got to have some momentum going into the playoffs, and the only way you can do that is keep winning.
Do you think, because now they're starting to hit a stride that was slowed down by not playing last year in COVID, do you think they have enough talent to make a run in these playoffs?
Oh, absolutely. You know, Whitehaven's got one of the better feeder programs in this state. You know, I think the one disadvantage, Coach Salisbury, I think that's probably hurting them a little bit. They lost some coaches to Germantown. Their D coordinator Earl left, went to Germantown. Now they replaced him with a quality guy, but you know, with Boatwright, but you have to be there as a D coordinator. You know, coming in 1 year takes time to learn a new system, and so you know, I think Bobo, the new coordinator, you know, he's got some things implemented, but it takes time to implement those things, and so I think that's where you see a little of the drop off of Whitehaven. Then offensively, they haven't been clicking like they have been in the past. But I think they have talent, Dave, across the board, where they can make a run and make a big, you know, it would surprise me if Whitehaven ended up in the state championship game. That would not surprise me because they do have talent.
That would be something. I mentioned, by the way, the Ryan Silverfield at the Touchdown Club last night. They honored for his play all this year Tevin Carter, and I believe his season is done. And Tevin Carter, woo, man, let me tell you, he is a well-built young man, smart, articulate. Met his mother. She's a teacher in the public school system. That's a great family, and you know, if he indeed comes to Memphis, that will be a major plus. And he did say he was coming to Memphis last night, so that was really a neat moment. Fairleigh and MAHS, you know, 3-star Tennessee commit Cameron Miller and MAHS are going to host tonight. Fairleigh's 8-1, 7-0 in the league. Oh, so is MAHS. Who wins this game?
So I'll tell you, Dave, you know, if you haven't seen Cedric Miller's son play, you're a lot of people are missing out on a well-built, just a great athlete, you know, a chip off the old block because his dad was a phenomenal football and basketball player at Fairleigh. I think Ced will get the job done tonight. They're hosting. I think, like I said, a lot of these games got playoff implications and seedings involved. I think Ced's son will be the difference. I think he'll make enough plays offensively and defensively to get his team over the hump. And I just think Ced is poised to make a run deep in the playoff as well. MAHS is poised to make a deep run in the playoffs.
This is an interesting game, too. At Central, losing for the first time last week. They take on Munford. Munford is 7-2. They're 5-0 in 8-5A. So is Central 5-0, and they're 8-1. This one has all kinds of really good players. There's a Yale receiver commitment that's in the game, Quincy Briggs. There is Central running back is really good. Tell me who wins this one.
I think Major right. You know, that loss last week was a tough one. You know, I think, you know, defensively, they, you know, Dallin Hayden had a field day. He had 4 touchdowns, over 200 yards rushing. I think Major probably did an outstanding job this week of shoring up his run defense. And I think Major will bounce back tonight. I think Central has enough talent to bounce back tonight, Dave, to try to get back on stride, to make a deep run in the playoffs. I'm giving a nod to Central. I think Major has really worked on some things this week, him and his staff, to shore up their run defense. I'm betting they're going to be have a good showing tonight from last week. And then, I'm sure they're disappointed.
And then we'll end this back with your game because it really is a toss-up game. Brentwood 6-3, same as you. You guys are 2-2 in the league. They're 3-1. What gives here? They're at your place, so that should give you a leg up.
Absolutely. You know, and you know, the last time we played Brentwood down here, Dave, they had 2 guys that are. One is a Pro Bowl guy, Jalen Ramsey, one of the best corners in the league, and Derek Barnett, the Philadelphia Eagle guy who's playing defensive end for the Philadelphia Eagles. So we had them in a playoff game the last time they were here, and they were winning 24-0, and we came back and beat them 47-45. And so it'll be a knockdown, drag-out fight. Brentwood's always tough. The quarterback is very athletic, guy that can run quick, fast, elusive. So we really got to spy him and keep an eye on him and make sure that he doesn't pull the ball and stick out the back door on us. And then offensively, we have to take care of the football, and we got to be able to run the ball when we need to and run the ball when we want to. Because I don't think Brentwood linebackers are that outstanding, but they're good, but I don't think they're great run stoppers. So we got to be able to run the ball and then play action off that. And, you know, of course, with the weather tonight, Dave, special teams is going to be a key tonight to this ball game. You have to be good in the kicking game in order to keep the train moving toward the state championship run.
Good luck to you, my friend. We appreciate it. Thank you much. We'll talk to you next Friday.
Absolutely, David. And guess what? Briarcrest and Ainsworth have first place on the line tonight at Briarcrest. So that'll be another big game tonight. I'm going to be keeping an eye on.
I bet you will, and I think we all will. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you, buddy.
Glenn Rogers Jr. brought to you by Conway. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. You know that safety inspection with the heating system so critical. $69, you get the tune-up, and you're going to get the safety inspection with that state-of-the-art camera system going up, checking for cracks. And on top of that, they give you a carbon monoxide test. That's on the house. You get peace of mind with that, and you become efficient. And your system lasts longer. So many reasons why you want to call 384-3511, 384-3511. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, and the tune-up. And this portion of the show also brought to you by the Spirit Shop. Go see Eddie. Time to load up for football games tonight or football games tomorrow or even the basketball game on Sunday. Come on. Yeah, it's time. Celebrate, because we got lots to celebrate. You can celebrate that statue being unveiled yesterday. The place to go to make sure you're getting the premium or the middle or the bargain when it comes to spirits is right there at Poplar and St. Nick. 4848 Poplar Avenue. That is where the Spirit Shop is. It's the little log cabin you've passed forever. You want an education on spirits. You want a good time when you go in. You want to see a lot of selection. I know it looks like a little log cabin, but it's not. It's got so much absolute great product inside. It'll blow you away. I promise you. You'll go, how did they get all this in there? And he's got vintage wines, but he's got the new up-and-comers, and he'll explain the difference. He's got rare bourbons, and he's got middle road. He's got some bargains. If you're looking for tequila, he's got rare, and he's got the cheaper that is really a good product. He's not going to sell you anything bad, I promise. Eddie Connor and his family, they've been there since 1969 in East Memphis. They're the best. They are the Spirit Shop. We come back. Andy Schiffman, our agent in Chicago from Priority Sports. He comes your way.
Hey, this is former Tiger Gabe Kuhn. Check out my new show, Sports Time, with Brett Norsworthy. Make sure you join Stats and I every single afternoon from 3 to 6 on Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Acura of Memphis invites you to experience the all-new, completely redesigned 2022 Acura MDX. It's the most advanced SUV Acura has ever built. Experience the convenience of full connectivity, including built-in Alexa, Wi-Fi hotspot, and wireless charging, from the stunning interior complete with third-row seating. Stop by our state-of-the-art facility and take advantage of our aggressive APR offers today at Ridgeway and 385. Or shop online from the convenience of home now. Visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
For years, I have talked to you about James Davis, the finest men's store in all of Memphis, the service, the selection, everything that goes with quality. And I've told you recently about the Stant Perfect Fit shirts. Well, now there's the Stant Perfect Fit pants. Absolutely amazing. Only 2 measurements fed into a computer, and all of a sudden, you've got the perfect fit pants. I'm talking everywhere. The leg, the seat, the bottom, all made to fit your body absolutely perfectly. And there's 80 different fabrics to choose from. You will find the right look, the right fit, almost instantaneously. They start at $162, but you will never find a better pair of pants than these at James Davis Men's Store. And the shirts are still there, and guess what? It's the only place in Memphis that you can find Stant. That's the James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Fall is in the air, and so are Choate's Early Bird Specials. Right now, receive $1,000 off the purchase of a new Carrier gas furnace. Carrier furnaces come with some of the best warranties in the industry, and Choate's has been professionally installing them for over 60 years. As a Carrier factory authorized dealer, Choate's also offers competitive financing solutions for you and your family. If your heating system is in good shape, make sure you take advantage of Choate's Early Bird Tune-Up Special for $60. This tune-up is an in-depth 20-point inspection to make sure your furnace is ready for the winter season ahead. So call 347-8086 to schedule your early bird special today. And turn to the experts with Choates and let our family serve your family.
Hi, folks. I keep hearing about a shortage of good vehicles to purchase these days. Well, I can fix that. Just follow me to Auto Universe Germantown. I was blown away by the amount of high-quality vehicles they have. Something they call affordable luxury, and I would agree. And talk about variety. How about Lexus, Infiniti, Audi, Jeep, not to mention, but I will anyway, Mercedes, Nissan, Honda, Chevy, and Toyota. Tremendous pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, and they're always adding more. Hey, I know this family. They have everything we want under one roof. No haggle affordable pricing, simplified financing, top service technicians, even collision repair. Remember the old Mazda location in Germantown? That's where they're located, 7300 Winchester, and online at eautouniverse.com. So take it from me, if you want to avoid the new car price but still want a luxury, slightly loved vehicle, head on over to Auto Universe Germantown. Would I steer you wrong? Get it? At Auto Universe Germantown, only the best make it here.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again, it's the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
We congratulate Charlie, who's taking his family to the Tigers and Lane on Sunday for using that AutoZone listening line and getting in and getting the tickets. That's cool. Andy Schiffman's going to join us in a second. He's brought to you by Old Dominic. If you're looking for really something new and different and interesting to do, we got this great distillery in downtown Memphis right at 305 South Front Street, and they have tours. So you'll learn about the history of Old Dominic. It goes all the way back to the founder, Domenico Canali. Then you will get a close-up view of the extensive from grain to glass craft that is really what distilling is all about. And I mean, the master distiller, Alex Castle, is a crafts person. She is really outstanding. And then there's tasting. So if you're looking for something different, it's a 45-minute tour, and you do end up with a tasting of the Old Dominic portfolio. You're going to love it. And you're going to love the bar, too. If you're looking for something late night to do, stop by the bar. It's really a cool place. And check out all the fantastic Old Dominic products. That's Old Dominic downtown. This is crazy how this year is. Andy Schiffman, our agent in Chicago from Priority Sports. You tell me if this is crazy or not. I don't remember. After just 5 games, there's only one undefeated team. It seems like there's more parity in the NBA this year than ever before.
No, I completely agree, Dave. I was actually saying that to another one of my players the other day. This early on, it is a bit unbelievable to see teams like Boston struggling.
Lakers.
Just Lakers struggling. Which the Lakers, I'm not really surprised at. It shows you how important of a factor age is in the NBA. And I'm not putting it all on age, but obviously LeBron's been out the last couple of games with injuries. I mean, they had a commanding lead the other night in Oklahoma City against the league's youngest team, and OKC came back to beat them. And so now, obviously, last night with the Grizzlies making that great comeback in Golden State and winning in overtime on the road to hand Golden State its first loss. It is pretty incredible. And as a fan, you should be excited because it's going to be a heck of a season to see so much competition. And maybe you're not going to have the clear front runner that we've seen in years past between the Lakers and the Nets and even the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks got beat so bad at home the other night against Minnesota, who was up by 20 at one point, while you had a healthy Giannis and Chris Middleton playing. It's pretty fun to watch so far.
Oh, it is. Utah's the only undefeated team, and yep. I think they've only played 4. So it's hard to believe only one undefeated team, and most teams have only played 5 games. Going to be a great year. Could be a great year for the Grizz. How about this? In overtime again, just like last year in the play-in game, John Morant, Triple J played well down the stretch.
Desmond Bane.
Bane's been I guess the measure of consistency. He scores 19 points every game. I mean, it's unbelievable.
And he could be, at the end of the season, Dave, if this continues, there's no reason he cannot be a strong contender for most improved player for the Grizzlies and for the NBA.
I'm with you. I mean, how good can the Grizzlies really be? We thought it would be good if they won one game on this road trip. Here they are, splitting 2, and they're 3-2 after 5 games with that schedule.
No, absolutely, and they're coming back home with some momentum tomorrow to play Miami.
Yeah.
Obviously, getting that road win on against the Clippers early in that West Coast trip was great, was huge. Then you got 2 tough back-to-back games at home against Denver, both winnable for sure. So look, I mean, this is their time to make a statement early on in the season, and Ja has definitely done that. Ja is going to be an all-star this year if he keeps playing and if he stays healthy. There's no doubt in my mind, and so it's exciting to watch. So it's great to have Jaren back, but no, look, like you said, they could be very good. They could go very far. They could compete for home court advantage in the playoffs. But all these other teams we've talked about with the parity in the NBA this season, Dave, there could be a lot of teams that we're talking about now early on that could still be there at the end of the season that you may not have thought otherwise, just as how competitive the league is going. I mean, even last night, it was crazy. San Antonio had a 23-3 lead in the first quarter against Dallas, and then Dallas comes back to win the game.
All right, last thing. We only got about a minute 10. Tell me your take when I say to you, Puma just signed a junior in high school named Mikey Williams to a long-term contract under the terms of the NIL. So now we know high school students can make money as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, as an agent, I would love to sit here and say how great it is for my industry that we can now sink our teeth into kids as early as 16, 17 years old to go out there and land lucrative deals. But obviously you could probably gather from the tone of my voice that I'm not really a huge fan of it. Talk about the NIL and a deal like this for a kid like Mikey. You talk about the I believe it's called Overtime Elite, the program pulling kids out of the senior year in high school. I'm not a fan of that. I'm always the first to say, go and get an education, focus on basketball, focus on school. And look, that's my take. These companies out there, Puma, Nike, a lot of my competition going out there just doing anything they can to recruit players and sign players at an early age so they just have them in their stable. They operate differently. That's neither right nor wrong. It's just not something that I'm a huge fan of. And at the end of the day, that's why it's important for me and my colleagues at Priorities to go out there and recruit those sort of individuals like a Brandon Clark, like a Xavier Tillman, like a Corey Kispert and Doug McDermott and Bobby Portis that really know what the focus is and see the forest for the trees.
I don't understand how you can pinpoint a guy at 17. I know he's got a good social media presence, and I've a million or more followers.
I think that's what it really. Yeah. That's what it all comes down to. These companies see dollar signs with all these followers these kids have.
Apparently, that is it. But to identify a guy at 17, that is risky business for sure. Andy, as always, sorry I shortchanged you a little bit longer next week. Thank you, my friend.
Sounds great. Have a good weekend. Thanks, Dave.
You got it. Andy Schiffman in Chicago. That does it for us. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. When was the last time you had your heating system cleaned?